All right, everybody, welcome back to Mopar Show and Tell. And if you've seen the last one or two videos we've done on this car, you know this is a 1974 Dodge Charger Rally that my son picked up about 3 or 4 days ago. He got it for a song and a dance. I mean, dirt cheap car, well within his budget. And he got it because he's building a 73. It's black. It's in between those two trucks, so it's hard to see on this camera. But believe me, it's there. It's a 73 Dodge Charger, and this is a 74. Well, this car came a little too late because, a while back he needed a lot of parts that are on this car, but he has since acquired those parts. And now that this car has come along, he's contemplating whether or not he just wants to keep it together and just let it and drive it, or let it go, sell it, or whether or not he's going to look at the parts on this car and compare them to the parts on his that he bought and keep the better of the two. Who knows? But he's kind of leaning towards leaving the car together, trying to see if it runs, and maybe driving it or selling it. So there's a sweet and sour to this story because this car is very, very original. It's a nice car. It's a well-optioned car. This is, once again, a 1974 Dodge Charger Rally. It's an L code, which means it has the 360 Magnum 4-barrel up under the hood. Now, we haven't crawled underneath this thing to check the numbers yet, but I'm willing to bet the farm that the original engine and transmission are in this car. That's definitely a 360 4-barrel right there. We know that much. This car definitely calls for it right there. Engine 360 LA family. And on the VIN number, the fifth digit is an L, so we know it's the HP motor, which we know from the 4-barrel thermoquad sitting right there. But look under the hood. It's a little crispy. The car's been sitting for a long time. 93,000 miles on it. But it is so complete, so original, so complete, right down to the radiator, right? All the overflow jugs, the charcoal canister there, the windshield washer bottle there, all your ignition components on the firewall. I mean, every little clip fastener, even those covers that fit over the shock towers, everything is there. Now, this car wasn't a fully loaded car, but it was a pretty nicely appointed car. Once again, 74 Dodge Charger Rally, factory, 360 4-barrel, which is the high performance L code in the VIN number, 360 Magnum, automatic transmission, factory rally wheel car, factory front disc brake car, factory power steering, power disc brakes, factory non-AC car. You notice there's no AC compressor on the engine. You look back here at the firewall, there's no provisions at all for any kind of AC lines or anything to run through the firewall. It's a factory dual sport mirror car. Okay, it's a factory rally package front and rear sway bar car. Let me see if I can get that rear sway bar. Still there. There it is. Running across the bottom of the rear right there. It's got the brackets, the shock plates that have the provisions for the mounts, for the link bushings for the sway bar, And the body has its typical lower rust. Lower quarter here behind the rear tire. Lower quarter here in front of the rear tire. A little corner on the door there. The lower dog leg on the front fender. And the front valence. That's the front valence. That's not the front fender. That piece right there that has no rust on it, that's the actual fender. But from that point forward, that's the valence. So you swap out the valence and you have a pretty decent fender. Now, there's a lot more to this car. Let's see. Like I said, it still has its factory rallies on it. All right. But there's more to it. Let's open up the door. This is a factory rally dash car. 93,000 miles. I don't know if you can see that. Dash pad's in decent shape. 3 cracks. We've seen them split wide open before. Factory console car. Slapstick automatic on the floor. Okay. What else? Oh, yeah. Factory AM, FM radio. All right. Look at the floor pans. I mean, there are places, of course. The carpet in this car was soaked. But you have a hole right there, right above the frame rail. But look at the rest of the floor pan. Not bad. Not bad. Couple of holes right here. But that's about it. This floor pan can be patched back together. Look at the door panels. In other words, this car can pretty much with just some mechanicals, get the brakes going, get the engine going, of course, and a few things here and there, outside of cosmetic stuff, and you'd have you a nice car. It's a factory dual exhaust car. Look at that. It even has the dual exhaust valence with the little, lips cut out at the top. Let me get this vacuum hose out of the way. All right. Factory dual exhaust car. It might even be the original exhaust system because it's got the crossover tube on the exhaust. What else does it have? It's got the factory exhaust tip hangers and the mounts for the hangers that bolt up to the frame rail. All that's there. Let's look at the trunk floor. Let me climb up on this trailer. Now, as far as the trunk lid goes, it's ever so slightly crispy, but I've seen them with all this underbracing here rotted out. Now, here's probably one of the worst parts of the car. It's the trunk floor. It's got a lot of rust, a lot of holes. But they make a replacement trunk pan for this, not for the 74 so much because of that hump right there. That's 74 only. But you can buy a 73, 72, 71 trunk floor pan, and you can make it work. Around the glass is in pretty good shape. It's just right there in the corner and right here in this corner. A little rust. So, it has its good and bad. It's sweet and it's sour at the same time. The good thing about this car, for my son anyway, apologize for those of you who like those opera windows that have the 3 slits right here, and the back window is fixed. It doesn't roll down. Well, my son's not crazy about those, and honestly, neither am I. But this car, fortunately, doesn't have that. So it's the perfect, in our opinion, 3rd generation body style. We like the big quarter glass versus the 71 and 72 quarter glass. And we like the open quarter glass versus what some 73s and 74s had with those slats over the quarter window there. It's also a factory bulge hood car. And at one point it said Magnum 360 or 360 Magnum, whichever way it went, but somebody broke off the 360 part of that emblem and just left the Magnum sitting there. So I'm doing this video here to try to document the car in its early stages before we take anything really apart on it. Reason being, here's one of the car's sweet, but here's one of the sour parts to it. We couldn't find the fender tags, and we couldn't find the build sheet to the car. Couldn't find those. We looked inside the back seat bottom, the back seat top half. We looked in the bucket seats, which are right here, by the way. And look at that seat. That seat's pretty doggone clean, man. Look at that. No rips, no tears. Where's the other one? The other one's right behind it. Look at it. No rips, no tears. And that's just how the interior was on this car. The back seat's the same way, just really clean. But as I was saying, We didn't find a build sheet in the back seat. We didn't find a build sheet even in those two bucket seats. You know, you pull the seat backs off of those seats and look inside, and sometimes you find a build sheet. We pulled both of them off and no build sheet. We looked underneath the bucket seats, no build sheet. We looked behind the glove box, no build sheet, right? So I don't know if the factory assembly line workers never put it in the car, or did somebody get into this car and take it out? I don't know. But I just wanted to document this because we haven't touched it. I just want to make that declaration right now. Other than, and another place underneath the carpet. We were careful about taking the carpet out because sometimes they stick build sheets underneath the carpeting. We didn't find one there either. We took our time and took a box cutter's knife and start cutting the carpet out of the car in sections. As you can see, we still haven't even gotten all of it out yet. There's some right there underneath the console. But yeah, cut it out in sections so we can try to lift it out and look underneath to see if the build sheet might have been stuck to it, you know, because it was wet. We would have found some kind of, I don't know, some kind of evidence that it was once there, but we didn't find any. So evidently somebody got to this car before we did and pulled that stuff out, or either that or the assembly line just didn't put them in. Who knows? Anyway, we're not going to stop. Once we get inside the dash a little bit and behind the panels and stuff, and we'll continue to look and see if it's still up in the dash somewhere, but it doesn't look like it is. Anyway, so like I was saying, we wanted to document this car before we went any further, just to show how it looked since we got it. And this is not one of those cars that anybody would say, oh yeah, I'm going to turn that into a high-dollar Hemi car or a six-pack car, and I'm going to try to deceive the public by saying it's something that it's not. Nobody, first of all, would do that with a 74 Charger. This car pretty much is what it is. And for what it's worth, we just wanted to document it, and just so people can see what it was as we found it, how we found it, and the equipment that it has on it, and that the car is basically, it is what it is. And even without documentation to back it up, like the build sheet, like the fender tag, I feel very strongly that this car is what we have here. A 74 Dodge Charger Rally, L code 360, that much we can confirm. L code 360 high performance, and that all the options that are on this car have been on this car since day one. Wheels, console, rally dash, bulge hood, front and rear sway bars, power disc brakes, power steering, you know, all that kind of stuff. So this is, for what it's worth, just a documentation video showing the car basically in as found condition. The only thing we've done to it since we've gotten it is cleaned it out. We needed the car to be dry. It was very wet. It had a lot of dirt, a lot of leaves, a lot of trash in all the hidden tight places. And it was all wet. It was all moist. And we all know what that does. It rots the car out, especially from the inside out. So under the hood, there was a lot of leaves and debris and dirt and rust, you know, loose rust flakes everywhere. And all that stuff was wet and moist. This is probably the driest this car has been in a long time, sitting out here with all that moisture and all that debris finally removed from all the cracks and crevices, and now it gets to bask in the sun, you know. So anyway, just wanted to make this video. Let me wrap this up. Just wanted to make this video showing the car, and let me pop open the passenger door, showing the condition of the car. Here's the floor pans again, the passenger side rather. Nice, a little bit better than the driver's side. You know, the back seat section, nice, right? Not bad. Well, let's see. Let me just show the VIN number. While Why not? What is it? WL 20? No, yeah, WL 23L, something like that. Let's see. WH, yeah. WH23L. There you go. So it is a WH23L4. So it is a 1974 Charger Rally with the high performance 360 Magnum. There you go. For what it's worth, just trying to show the car and trying to document the car as best we can and show it for, hopefully, what we really feel strongly, show it for what it really is, and that nothing's been touched, added, removed, or anything like that. The car is what it is. Now, we can't prove that for sure without the build sheet and fender tag, but just from observation and my many years of dealing with these cars, 40 plus years, it looks legit to me. So anyway, that's the documentation video of this car. This is after one cleanup. We're going to do a much more thorough cleanup, which is going to involve removing the front clip, getting to all those hard to reach places on the frame rail and the K-frame and all underneath the battery tray and all those places on these cars that like to rot. From the first visual inspection, it's not rotted. So now we have to preserve it. If we're going to keep this car, if my son's going to keep it and drive it, or if he's going to sell it, we think we need to preserve it a little bit more, not let it sit exposed like it has been. So the surface rusts, let's paint it with some rust preventive, maybe like a Pour 15. Let's do the chassis, let's do the subframe. You know, let's get those places so they don't continue to get worse. Let's do some preventive maintenance and preservation on this car. All right, well, that's it for now. Whenever we move on to the next step, we'll do a video. I'll keep you updated. Please like and subscribe. We have a lot of content here. We have Coronet RTs, we have darts, we have max wedge cars, you name it. 69 Chargers. We have a lot of content here. So please stay with us and be patient. It takes time and money to work on these cars and make videos of these cars. So the like and subscribe is very important, because what we may make off of these videos goes right back into the cars, you know. So thank you and enjoy your day.